3.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2.
Okay, so in this episode, we're going to be talking about 2 albums. 2 albums that go together pretty well. And that would be Rubber Soul and Revolver, respectively released in 1965 and 1966. And, of course, both are by the Beatles. So, whatever. All right.
Some of these indie bands no one's heard of.
They're getting famous through Spotify.
Yeah, they just dropped the new album Magical Mystery Tour on SoundCloud.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Rubber Soul begins with Drive My Car, which is
a bop.
Yeah, it is very good. I didn't really like it at first. But it has some nice guitar in it, and then it goes into that, and then it talks about this dude who likes this girl, and the girl wants to be, a movie star, but he's trying to, just do whatever he can to like get her to like him, and then so she's like, "You can be my chauffeur," and so there comes "Drive My Car," and "Drive My Car" is just like most Beatles songs at the time was like 2 minutes, give or take, and very poppy, very fast paced, and easy to listen to. And that contrasts with the first track on Revolver. And by the way, we're going to go like track by track on each of these albums. So we're just going to go jump back and forth. And so Taxman is the first song on Revolver, which is a George Harrison song. One of 2, like always, on this album.
I thought he had 3 on Revolver.
Was
he not? No, he has
yeah.
He has Taxman, Love You Too, and I Want to Tell You.
You're right. He did the 3. And Taxman, it's just about taxes. It's just, it's
well, it's about the fact that Britain had like a 95% income tax on the wealthy back then.
95% of unearned income. All right. And it says Harrison wrote Taxman as a protest against the high marginal tax rates paid by top earners like the Beatles, which under Harold Wilson's Labor government. And that's where, the lyrics like Mr. Wilson and Mr. Heath. And Mr. Heath comes from Edward Heath comes from Edward Heath was the conservative leader of the opposition under the Prime Minister Harold Wilson. So, not that really bears too much depth with it. It's a fun song. It's a cool song. It has a very interesting guitar solo in it, and really cool guitar solo in it. And that's very different from Drive My Car. I mean, they're both, poppy, but one has more like a rock aspect to it. Is a little more rock and roll to it, a little more psychedelic, I guess.
Which one?
The Taxman.
I guess.
I wouldn't.
It's electric. I think Drive My Car's electric though too.
Yeah, but it's like I wouldn't know if calling Taxman psychedelic would be the right choice of words. Because the whole Revolver is psychedelic, but Taxman itself is like, it's just fits into that category, but it's not the prototype of that category,
Mm-hmm. See, my stance on it is I think Taxman is a song that really only works as the first song on the album.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good intro, but that opening to Drive My Car and like the oh yeah, like I think Drive My Car is a better song, but Taxman's a better intro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've always liked Taxman's probably my, I want to say, third favorite George Harrison song that he did with the Beatles. The first two being While My Guitar Gently Weeps and Here Comes the Sun, respectively.
Mm-hmm.
And Taxman's very good, and the solo's awesome. Oh, this is new. Says that McCartney played the guitar solo. I did not know that. Huh.
That's why, like, I saw somebody who was like, George Harrison was such a bad guitarist that his two best songs he didn't even play guitar on. It was not Taxman and While My Guitar Gently Weeps. I'm like, okay.
Well then, I did not know that. All right, George Harrison is a fraud.
He's a hack fraud.
Yeah.
Something was written by George Martin, we found out.
Also cites its racist sneer as a precursor. Okay. Huh. Well, that's new. Anyways, Norwegian
I can't
Wood.
believe he would do this.
Ethan, talk about Norwegian Wood. Talk about why it's so great. Talk about why it's like one of the best songs on this album.
Honestly, I think it what's the opposite of when something grows on you? Shrunk on me?
What do you mean?
When I first listened to this song, it was like I was like, this is one of the best Beatles songs ever, and now I think that it's a good song.
Mm-hmm.
Because honestly, I feel like it's too short. I feel like there's like, I don't know, it's 2 minutes. I feel like it should be 3. And then you have like other songs on here, like You Won't See Me, which I think is too long. I think they should have swapped the run times. I really do like Norwegian Wood though, because it's very folky. They got the sitar. It's like, I think it was their first sitar song. Because old G. Harrison brought it back from India.
Yep.
The song's about John Lennon probably having an affair, and then she won't sleep with him, so he burns down her house.
The house down.
Yeah, that Norwegian Wood burns nice. Yeah, honestly, I do really like the song. I just I wish it was kind of longer, which I guess in a way means that I don't think it's a bad song because I wish there was more of it.
Yeah,
that's not one complaint about it.
Same thing with Revolver is that we have another song that kind of pioneered. Well, Norwegian pioneered in the sense with like sitar and all that.
Doing,
and then
doing.
Revolver also stands out with Eleanor Rigby, which is one of their best known songs. And they don't play any instruments themselves. It's just them singing. There's like a whole string section in the back. It's really like
it's a Paul McCartney solo song.
It's like this. It's like a haunting, just string section in the background, which it's one of my favorite by them, and I think it's just definitely one of their best in general.
I think it's overrated.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's all right, but I think Yesterday does this thing better, where it's like we have a big orchestra and Paul's singing. I think it's a good song, but I don't know. This one's 2 minutes, and I feel like you feel every second of it.
Well, it's like Eleanor Rigby just feels deeper,
Yeah, but it's like I feel like it's a faux deepness. It's not very relatable. It's like you're old and you haven't, you don't have any friends because they're all dead, and then you die. I'm being a bit facetious. I do like the song, and I get what they're going for, but I wouldn't say it's like I know some people, not you obviously, but some people will be like, this is their best song by far. Honestly, they peaked with Revolver. If Revolver was just 14 Eleanor Rigby's, it would be the best Beatles album ever made.
You see, Revolver's my favorite Beatles album, but I don't think they peaked with it,
What do you think they peaked with?
Probably like Abbey Road, I guess.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, like, even though it was like their last album, it was just
Abbey Road's solid.
Yeah, it's just a solid flowing album that was groundbreaking, I guess you could say. I mean, the White Album was just like all over the place, but it was still cool.
Well, I've been listening to the White Album a lot lately because I was doing that like alternate albums thing I was telling you
Yeah.
about, where I split it, and like, holy crap, like you can make a really good album out of it, and then you're like, but what about the 3 other songs here? And you just have like Wild Honey Pie 7 times, and then Revolution 9 at the end.
Yeah.
I actually kind of want to hear that.
Wild Honey Pie 7 times.
Honey Pie.
All right, so I asked a friend of mine who is the age of 18. So I'm doing this thing now where I will ask people of different age groups. However,
I was wondering why that was relevant for a sec.
What?
I was wondering why you specified that for a sec, but I get it.
Okay, well, I did that because, demographic reasons, just to see, who listens to this. And they said, well, I asked them about both albums, and they're a big Beatles fan as well. So they said that Rubber Soul and Revolver work really well together because they represent a transitional period for the Beatles. Rubber Soul is filled to the brim with great tracks that work perfectly fine on their own, but some of the songs begin experimenting with the sounds of psychedelia. Tracks like Norwegian Wood, Nowhere Man, and the trippy mixing on I'm Looking Through You really emphasize this. Revolver, she says, I already exposed the gender, but it doesn't matter. Revolver takes it a step further by furthering the psychedelia in songs like I'm Only Sleeping and Love You Too. Revolver also represents the first attempt in making a fully cohesive album. While it doesn't take it as far as Sgt. Pepper's, Revolver is still one of those albums that you have to sit down and listen to without doing anything else upon first listen. It also offers up some of the most iconic Beatles songs like Eleanor Rigby, the only track to not feature any Beatles playing instruments, and Yellow Submarine, which everybody knows. Revolver is most people's favorite Beatles album, and for good reason. It's personal, iconic, and definitely more accessible than the White Album or even Sgt. Pepper's. But without Revolver, we would never have gotten those albums. And I think that's pretty well said, because Revolver is great, and it's better than Rubber Soul.
It just isn't, though. I hate to say it, but Revolver is like, you have a sparkler when you're a kid, and like you light that baby up, and it's like, and you're like, wow, this is amazing, and then you look down, your fingers have come off because it's already gone. That's my enjoyment of Revolver, because it was like really great, and then I realized it's not as solid. It's just overall not as solid of an album as Rubber Soul. There's too many like Dr. Robert's okay. And all the rest of the songs are like good, except for there's like 5 or 6 in here that are great. But to me, Rubber Soul, even though some like there isn't a song Rubber Soul that's as good as Tomorrow Never Knows, right? For example. Or even like the singles from Revolver are like my 2 favorite Beatles singles, Paperback Writer and Rain. Like if this was just a singles contest, I would be Revolver all the way, because I like Day Tripper and We Can Work It Out a lot too, but they're not as good. But Rubber Soul is just so consistent. Even Run for Your Life, I kind of like. A lot of people don't.
I would agree with the fact that it just goes better as an album.
It flows.
Yeah, it's easy to just go along with, and
Revolver is like listening to the Abbey Road medley on shuffle.
I think that'd be a bad thing. I'd like that, but
Golden Slumber.
But all right, so You Won't See Me.
I love that song, even though I think it goes on a bit too long.
Yeah, this one is like okay to me.
You won't see me. It's just the better got to get you into my life.
I beg to differ, because it doesn't have.
Now I will say,
full brass.
It is. I like I'm Only Sleeping on Revolver better than it, because that's like one of my favorite songs on Revolver.
Right. Well, what is your like favorite song on Rubber Soul?
I'm Looking Through You is like my second favorite Beatles song ever.
Okay, so is that your favorite on Rubber Soul?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, how do you feel about You Won't See Me then? Is that like top 3 on this album for you? Or?
No, it's not, but I do like it. My favorite part of Rubber Soul is there's these bits, right? And like Nowhere Man, Think for Yourself, The Word, those 3 songs, like they're
really
so
love that, man.
yeah, that's a great song, and they flow so well. They're like, I have this album or this playlist I made called Rubber Revolver, where I combine like the albums, and like that's like a section that has to say the same for me, and the same with like I'm looking through you in my life, wait, and if I needed someone, like those 4 songs just flow so well.
Mm-hmm.
Revolver, it's like I feel like I don't feel like it flows, man. I like the flow.
Yeah, I think some parts of Revolver flow,
Like the
but
middle.
like not as a whole it flows, because like you have Here, There, and Everywhere, and then all of a sudden you got Yellow Submarine just
You know a
thrown in
funny
there.
story about that?
What?
Revolver was my favorite Beatles album, and then I realized that on my download I didn't have Yellow Submarine downloaded. So it'd go like Here, There, Everywhere, She Said, Good Day, Sunshine. I loved it. I loved those like 3 songs in the middle. It was my favorite Beatles album. And then I realized, yeah, Yellow Submarine in the middle of there kind of made me like, that's what made me like Rubber Soul better. It was pretty epic.
Yeah.
Even like the Ringo song Rubber Soul, What Goes On, it's one of the okay songs on the album, but Yellow Submarine, I actually like Yellow Submarine. I just don't like it in the album.
Yeah, I like Yellow Submarine too, but I think it'd be better as just like a separate single.
Yeah, if they put like Paperback Writer in place of it,
I think they should just kept it on Yellow Submarine.
yeah.
Then you have
Nowhere Man versus Love You Too.
I think it's.
Or are we doing I'm Only Sleeping?
Yeah. So.
Oh, yeah, we didn't talk about it. Yeah.
This one I didn't really get into upon first listen, but then after a little while more, really liked it. Thought it was great. I think John Lennon's voice is like amazing. And
he's like, when I wake up early in the morning.
Yeah, it's cool, and it fits
the
with
backwards guitar solo.
About. Yeah, the backwards guitar. That was like the first legitimate sign of psychedelia in this album, I think.
Because they didn't have to play the stuff live anymore, so they could freak out with it, you know?
Yeah, that's right. They stopped playing live like right after Rubber Soul, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
And then they just stopped.
I think there was a bit of an in-between period, but yeah.
And they came back to the rooftop concert in what, like 1970? 69? I think it was 70.
I think it was 69.
All right.
Because it probably, well, I think that was during the Get Back sessions, wasn't it? That was before Abbey Road. I don't know.
You're right. It's 69. January 30th, 1969.
Well, it's almost even 68.
Okay, well, all right. Thoughts on Think for Yourself?
That's a George song, and I really like that song. We didn't do Nowhere Man, though, did we? Nowhere Man, I Love You Too.
Okay, yeah, Nowhere Man.
It's all over the place.
Yeah. It doesn't matter as long as we talk about it.
Nowhere Man. The Laughing Nowhere Man.
This is probably my top 5 from this album, Nowhere Man.
Yeah.
I really like this song. The guitar solo is great.
Love You Too is the horny George Harrison song.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's the simp.
I'll make love to you if you want me to.
Yeah. Paul McCartney, man, he out here. He don't care. He goes straight for it.
You say stop, and I say go, go, go.
Nowhere Man. All right. Blind Dude. John Lennon dropping acid.
John Lennon was blind? Is that why I read the glasses?
Yes, John Lennon. Yeah.
Huh.
And it says that it was the first Beatles song to completely avoid boy-girl relationships, and through Lennon conveying his feelings of inadequacy in the third person. What about Help? I mean, I feel like Help would have been...
I need somebody. It has to be a woman, though.
Well, I just think Help was probably the first one that doesn't have to deal with, like, relationships or, like, rely strongly on that sort of thing, you know?
I mean, plus, Please Please Me could have been a dude.
Yeah. John Lennon was the first gay rock star.
I thought there was... Hold on, isn't there a song in Beatles for Sale where it's not? What about I'll Follow the Sun?
Maybe. I don't know why it says that in here. But keep in mind, I'm reading this off of Wikipedia. So, but even then, Beatles entries on here are supposed to be,
I mean,
very-
honestly, John came back with the boy and girl song with Revolution 9, which famously is about him
I'll
being
play that
like,
at my wedding.
just that video of the guy going really crazy dancing at the club, and he's like totally on something.
Yeah.
You imagine that with just Revolution 9 in the background, just do number 9.
Okay. Anything to say about Nowhere, man?
I think it's a pretty great song about how John was feeling at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts off the little suite I was telling you about that I really like, which is like 3 of my favorite songs in the album. So I really like it.
Okay, and now for
And I hate to say this about my favorite Beatle, but I don't think Love You 2 is very good.
I thought it was great when I first listened to it. When I listened to like the sitar part, I'm just like, well, I want to get a sitar now.
I like Within You Without You better.
Yeah, that was cool. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And this was his first foray into Hindustani classical music as a composer.
Is that why he says like, I'll make love to you if you want me to? That's like something like an Indian guy on Facebook would message like a woman.
Xavier.
Yeah. Friendship ended with George. Paul is my best friend.
So it says he recorded this. So there wasn't a whole lot from everybody else, and says that he recorded it with Indian musicians from the Asian music circle who provided instrumentation such as tabla, tambura, and sitar. So it's strictly Indian, this thing, except for a British man who sounds like he has a cold singing on it. But, yeah.
What I find...
There's that backwards guitar solo.
I do like that.
Yeah, which is really cool.
Something interesting I thought about, right? Rubber Soul can be the best album of 1965 easily in my head, because I think
Highway 61 Revisited what?
I like Rubber Soul better.
Okay.
I like it better than Beach Boys' Summer Days and Summer Nights. It's probably the best album in 1965. But Revolver can never be the best album in 1966, because it came out in 1966.
Yes.
Yeah. And you know what?
Obviously.
Blonde on Blonde! Amateur work. Amateur hour. Well, he's just talking about getting stoned. I didn't even listen past that song. Obviously, you wasn't even trying. What does the title even mean? Here. The title sounds like a porn title. Like, what is he even doing?
Just keep going.
Blonde on Blonde. I hardly knew. I don't know. What do you want me to say?
I don't know. You were about to say something, but you were like,
"Oh no, Pet Sounds came out in 1966."
You were referencing Pet Sounds, and then I messed with you and said,
"Well, I thought about it. I thought about it because the next song we're going on Revolver, they say that song has like God Only Knows influences, or Wouldn't It Be Nice influences, or something. I don't know if I buy it. But I do like Here, There, and Everywhere. But Think for Yourself is better.
Yeah, I mean, it does kind of have.
Think for Yourself's a good George song.
Yeah, Think for Yourself is very good. I like how it sounds.
I feel like Rubber Soul is a not very Beatlesy album. I feel like they kind of did something really different, and then Revolver to me sounds like a Beatles album.
Well, elaborate on that.
I feel like okay, when I think about Rubber Soul, there's a lot of interesting songs in here, like Girl. Mm-hmm. It's like just very odd.
Probably my second on here.
I'm not a huge fan of like the breathing. Oh, that's my only thing about it. So you listen to it, it's like but there's a lot of songs in here that are just like it's like one person singing, and then Revolver goes back to the harmonic singing, like Here, There, and Everywhere, and Good Day Sunshine and stuff. It's not a bad thing. I feel like Rubber Soul was a much bigger step than Revolver was, excepting of course like Tomorrow Never Knows, I like She Said, She Said, Tex-Man, Eleanor Rigby.
You know, credit to Rubber Soul, we wouldn't have Revolver without Rubber Soul.
Oh yeah, because I guess
if they never took that step forward to make Rubber Soul, they wouldn't have taken any steps to make something like Tomorrow Never Knows.
Yeah, but like
if
you climb up Mount Everest and then you walk upstairs to your room, and then people are like, you're like, shouldn't you be excited for me for climbing my room? I climbed Everest. It's like, yeah, good job, man, but that's not very impressive, is it?
Well, here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
Rubber Soul, it's a great album, all right? No denying that. And I can understand why you think that Rubber Soul is better, but I feel like you have... I prefer psychedelic music, okay? That's evident.
Tomorrow Never Knows is like my third favorite Beatles song.
Yeah, I love
like Tomorrow Never Knows more than I'm Looking Through You.
And with Rubber Soul, you have kind of, you know, just stuff like Drive My Car and You Won't See Me, and like these kind of like poppy sort of mainstream sounding things, which aren't bad. It's just you only have like just little bits and pieces of psychedelia in there, in my opinion. And I like Revolver, obviously very biased because I like psychedelic music.
Like And Your Bird Can Sing or Guide You to My Life.
Maybe, you know, from a more open-minded, not necessarily open-minded, but more collective standpoint, Rubber Soul would be the superior album. And I think that would be, you know, make more sense. Like, objectively, Rubber Soul would be better, especially if we're talking about the Beatles specifically, and that's their best, you know, work. Now, I think more objective, the more majority of Beatles critics would say that Sgt. Pepper's is their best, obviously.
I'll say Revolver now because Sgt. Pepper's has been like so liked for so long that it.
Oh, well, the same thing's gonna happen with Revolver.
Yeah, and then they're gonna be like, with the Beatles is the best Beatles album.
It's gonna go down to Beatles for Sale.
I like Beatles for Sale except for half the songs.
Yeah.
It's like half that album is just bops.
The Beatles for Sale, 50% off.
What You're Doing is one of my favorite songs by the Beatles, and then it's just like a bunch of really bad stuff on there.
Dude, I love No Reply. Man, that song's great.
I like No Reply. I like I'll Follow the Sun. 8 Days a Week is great. What You're Doing's great. There's a lot of just... People really like rock and roll music, and I just don't get it.
Yeah, that one is like, eh.
Every rock and roll music.
But... okay. And
sorry, go on.
Okay, we already covered Love You Too, and so back on track we have we started talking about Think for Yourself. It's just a fast little, you know, nice George song that apparently may have been influenced by Positively 4th Street by Bob Dylan. Which I guess they do kind of talk about the same thing, but
that's cool.
I think Positively 4th Street's better in my opinion. But
you know, it's a weird thought I had, right?
Bro, now that should be an episode right there. Bob Dylan and the Beatles compared to
the Bobbles.
But continue.
The Beach Bobs. I had a weird thought. Back on Track would be a really great album title if like the Beatles got back together in like 1978.
I wanna hold your hand. And they just what if they just psychedelicized all of their early stuff?
I wanna hold your hand, bass drop.
No, it's gonna be I wanna hold your hand with the sitar.
I want to hold your hand. And
then we have The Word, which I really like. That's a good one.
Say the word.
It says that this dude says that The Word marks the start of the Beatles' high psychedelic period. And it says that anticipates the ethos behind the counterculture's 1967 Summer of Love, which is basically when all the hippies got together.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like Woodstock before Woodstock.
So do you like The Word or Yellow Submarine better, Allison?
The Word. The Word is better in my opinion.
I can't believe you would say this. I'm literally crying.
Well, what about you?
I like Yellow Submarine, but it's not a great album song.
Yeah.
And I really like The Word because that's the last part of that little sweet. It's not intentional. I just like how the songs go together.
Uh-huh.
I guess you could count Michelle, but like Michelle, What Goes On and Girl to me are kind of like the low point of the album before it kicks back in. Yeah, those three just kind of like they don't hit with me as much.
I don't think like I love Michelle and I love Girl because I'm like sad romantic poet kind of personality guy. And What Goes On is just like right in the middle of there. It's like
country.
Yeah, like it's like a rockabilly country kind of feel.
Which is cool, but I think What Goes On would have been better like on an earlier Beatles album.
Yeah. I think it would have gone on like Help or something. Interestingly
enough for me, right? 7, 8, 9 are kind of like for me the low point of Rubber Soul, and it peaks at the beginning and it sort of dives and it peaks back at the end. And then for me, Revolver sort of peaks in the middle and then like just sort of like nips up at the end really high because I like Tomorrow Never Knows. But 7, 8, 9 on Revolver are my favorite songs on the album overall, and then 7, 8, 9 on Rubber Soul are my least favorite on the album.
Let's talk about Michelle. Ethan, how do you feel about Michelle?
I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. It's like that. It goes on. I don't like this song that much, honestly. Like let's say this is like the low point for me.
Yeah,
I like it okay, but then it's one of those songs where I'm pretty sure the second half is just pretty much identical to the first.
Well, like let's say there's 3, relatively serious songs on Rubber Soul, that being Michelle, Girl, and In My Life.
Right.
And, the ones that talk about like
deep
romance, I guess you could say. I don't know. And it's more What?
Like Wait and Norwegian Wood, I think are pretty serious.
Well, all right.
Nowhere, man.
I don't think Wait would like go into the same category as like Norwegian Wood, Girl, Michelle, and In My Life.
I mean, maybe not.
It's more fast paced than them. I feel like it would go along with something with like.
And the girl, they're literally just the chorus is them going tit 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 tit. Which, fun fact, they ripped off from the Beach Boys. So. Really shows you these frauds, the Beatles, thinking they can, just come in and steal from America. Raw Marines.
Anyways,
right.
I think Michelle is probably the weakest out of the 4 that I listed. And it's what, mediocre to you?
I think it's okay. I think out of the 3 songs that I don't like that much, it's the second best. Yeah.
Okay.
Out of the 3, I don't like What Goes On is actually probably my favorite. Anyway, let's start with the Revolver ones because those are my favorite. Yeah.
She said.
That one's great.
Yeah, that's a very good one. I love that one.
No, I really like it. These 2 albums are albums that make me wish that the Beatles hadn't done the whole like no singles on the album thing, because I feel like the singles for these albums would have been really great on it. And like She Said, coming off of Paperback Writer and like going into Rain.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Like,
it's beautiful.
I feel like it should be, one of those that would appear on like a compilation. It doesn't, for some reason, even though
what doesn't?
Great. She Said.
Oh yeah, and it's really good.
You see, out of the, all right, so I would put She Said, Good Day Sunshine, and Your Bird Can Sing, and I Want to Tell You in like their own category, right? And I would say She Said would be the best out of those.
I like And Your Bird Can Sing better.
I think
I Want to Tell You better.
I think that'd be second best, and then I Want to Tell You, and then Good Day Sunshine.
I Want to Tell You is one of the songs that sold me on Revolver at the beginning, so I still like it a lot.
Yeah, Harrison, Chad.
Want to tell you.
And it's not my favorite song. She said it's not my favorite song on the album. That would probably be Tomorrow Never Knows. Like you. Or nah. Eleanor Rigby. Not trying to sound basic, but it's just cool like that. Tomorrow Never Knows is close though. Actually, that might be. I don't know. They alternate. But all right, what goes on, Ethan?
What goes on?
What goes on?
Out of those three that I don't like, this one's my favorite.
Okay.
Because it's the Ringo song. Ringo was the most talented Beatle.
And, he wrote everything. The name Lennon McCartney.
Well, see, Ringo was just moving so fast. He had different masks, so he looked like George, Paul, and John during most of their performances.
Billy Shears, dude.
Yeah. Paul's a dead man. Miss him. But What Goes On's actually okay, even though it's a bit like a whiny. It's like Don't Pass Me By on the White Album. I'm not a huge fan.
Don't Pass Me By.
Don't pass me by. Don't make me cry.
Goes On.
I think it is too, but out of the White Album Ringo songs, Good Night is by far the superior one.
Good Night is very good.
And the best Ringo song is like A Little Help from My Friends. Or Octopus's Garden.
Yeah.
I like Octopus's Garden.
With a little help from my friends, probably the best Ringo song.
I'll say Octopus's Garden, you know. I'll go the controversial route.
Yeah, I always forget that song's on the album.
What do you mean?
I always every time I listen to Abbey Road, and I'll forget that's there.
It's the best song on the album, though.
All right, so in contrast to What Goes On, we have Good Day Sunshine.
Out of these three in the middle, it's my least favorite on Revolver. But I do like it.
Yeah. It's just kind of there.
Like, whenever I think about it in my head, I just hear him going "Good Day Sunshine" for like 2 minutes straight. I'm like, that's the song.
Yeah.
Well, there is that sort of thing, like
She wants
the sort of
something like that.
Like the Paul McCartney thing, where he just sort of narrates something that's happening, which I actually kind of like in a lot of songs, like in A Day in the Life and Another Day on his he was on Ram. Yeah, it's just like sort of just a slice of life, kind of like Busy Doing Nothing off the Friends album.
He just refrains from "Good Day
Sunshine."
Yeah,
it's kind of just like him, just like doing this song, and then he just comes in, "Good Day Sunshine."
So let's see, Girl, probably second.
That's Girl.
Favorite on this album. Yes, hyperventilation. When you're at the doctor,
it's okay.
He puts the stethoscope on you.
Yeah. With the comparison, Andrew Bird Can Sing's one of my favorite on Revolver.
Mm-hmm.
Just like I saw somebody who made like their own like here's how I would do Revolver, and they took that one off, and they're like, it's okay, but it doesn't fit with the rest of the album. I'm like, how does it not? You tell me, and they kept like Yellow Submarine on and stuff. Like, okay, understandable.
Yeah. Even like in Revolver's craziness, Yellow Submarine still doesn't really fit.
It's too whimsical.
Yeah, it's too.
Yellow Submarine on Magical Mystery Tour.
It's meant for kids, straight up. But
I'd actually rather have Yellow Submarine on like Sgt. Pepper's even.
Good lord, I don't know about that.
Instead of A Day in the Life, it's just Yellow Submarine.
And then you have. All right, so Girl, you don't really care for it.
I like it. I just don't like the breathing. If you could edit the breathing, I'd probably like it better. And it's just like the slow point of this album, and this song's particularly slow. Hell yeah. Clink clink.
Then And Your Bird Can Sing, which is
that opening guitar riff.
Yeah, that's really cool.
No.
Not the best on the album.
Okay. One of the best on the album.
Uh, do you have anything like much to say about it?
I like the bit where he changes it up in like I think the second part of the chorus where he's like, or no, I think it's the verse, isn't it? Where he says like, "And your bird can do something else." I don't remember what he says. Let me look.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Tell me
Yeah,
that you've got every. No, he says like, "And your bird is green."
Yeah.
I don't know. And your bird can swing at the end. I really like that song. I think it's great.
Okay.
It sounds like you're ready to go into like "Say It Ain't So."
I do actually know that one, but
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking through you, Ethan.
All right, great song. I watched a video about why it's like the sloppiest Beatles song, and I'm like, I think that's intentional because like the whole point of the song is like, I'm looking through you. You're not the same. It's like this like the narrator's not even sure what's happening anymore. Like this person he thought he knew is completely different, and I think the fact there's like some weird progressions and stuff is intentional. But it's just it's got such a good vibe, and it like leads off the last part of the album when the album comes back in at like full force. There's this one live Led Zeppelin show where like Jimmy Page's mic is out for like his guitar isn't going properly, and he like plugs it in, it just roars, and like it's awesome. And like that's what this is. It's like the album's gonna get good again after it was sort of for a bit.
All right. Personally, I don't think it's that great. I mean, I think it's good, but I don't think it's one of the highlights of the album. I mean, I think like "Drive My Car" is better.
I mean, you can be wrong. It's understandable. Do you think it's better than "For No One"?
No, do not, because "For No One" is it's like they're
Paul ASMR.
Talk about the same thing, and with Paul and that Jane Asher chick, it was like
except I'm looking through you is like fun. You're like vibing. Put this on in the shower, you're like grooving. For No One, it's like, I'm sort of iffy on it. I think it's just a worse Eleanor Rigby.
Depressing.
It's a worse Eleanor Rigby.
It's a what?
It's a worse Eleanor Rigby.
Yeah, all right, I get what you mean. Yeah, it's not as good as Eleanor Rigby, but like, yeah, it has that little.
Your day breaks. Your mind aches.
A little French horn part in it.
I like that part.
Yeah.
I think they used it on Love in like a different song because you know the Love album how they do that, and I really like that where they used it. I don't remember what song it was, but like that part put into like a better. I think it was in the end of Strawberry Fields. They put like a bunch of different bits, and they have that part, and they have like the Penny Lane trumpets. It's really cool.
Penny Lane. That's a song I haven't listened to in a bit.
Penny Lane.
Dr. Robert.
I just put it into like my Sgt. Pepper's version.
So, in my life. Now, how do you feel about this?
I know you really like it, which is why I think it's weird that you like Revolver better, and I like it a lot too.
Well, it's like my thing with Bob Dylan. My favorite song by him is "Visions of Johanna," but "Blonde on Blonde" is my third favorite Bob Dylan album.
You like Infidels better?
Yeah, I think Infidels and
Self-Portrait.
Rowdy Ways.
Oh yeah. I love going on this is like an on sequitur, I'm sorry, but I love going on like the Bob Dylan subreddit, right? And looking up what people think about Murder Most Foul. And half the people are like, I'm glad he's still trying, but I wish he hadn't tried on this one. Half the people are like, best song he ever wrote.
Well, I haven't really listened to it all the way through. It's like 16 minutes, man.
I listened to it, and it's I don't know, the fact he's talking about JFK getting shot, and he's like, rub-a-dub-dub, it's a murder most foul.
I remember my dad said he heard it one time, and he laughed.
There's like the whole like last half of that song, and then we'll get back to it. He's like talking about like bands at the time. I think he like it's like the Beatles are coming. They're gonna hold your hand. So yeah, nice reference, Bobby Boy.
All right. In My Life is my favorite Beatles song. I've always been up in the air about my favorite Beatles song. I've always said "Here Comes the Sun" or "Why My Guitar Gently Weeps." But as when people ask me what my favorite is, I just say that automatically. Like that. Well, I don't say that automatically, but I think that it's the first thought I have in my head.
Let's see, my favorite underrated part of In My Life is the drumming. Because I really like that he does the drums. He doesn't overdo it.
It's a subtle little consistent beat.
Yeah, because I watched a video about like why Ringo was actually a really good drummer, and he was talking about like how a lot of times drummers try to go over the top and won't let a song breathe. And he did a version. Oh, it was so. He did "In My Life," but with like really standard drum fills and stuff, and it was so cringe because it was like the Tomorrow Never Knows drums over "In My Life," right? And I was like, ugh, ooh, pain.
Yeah. Ringo
it's like this really sweet song, and it's just.
No, it's like "In My Life," but Moby Dick overdub.
Yeah, that's how it sounded. Oh, it was painful. Yeah, I like Rigno.
Dr. Robert.
I think it's underrated.
Yeah, it's a fun song. I think it's
probably drugs.
See, the thing about me like talking about the Beatles is like I think Revolver's their best album, but I just think it's their best album just because I don't know, it just sounds the best to me. I don't really think much more than that. Because if you ask me,
you should think for yourself.
Well, I just feel like I'm not as introspective when it comes to stuff like the Beatles, you know?
I guess, yeah.
And so it almost makes me sound like I really don't know what I'm talking about. But
I mean, Revolver is my second favorite Beatles album, as much as I've been like crapping on it. I'm just doing it for the sake of argument in this case, you know?
For the sake of
I do think it's a good album.
But I mean, like I said earlier, if you look at it from a more like objective, or not necessarily objective because all music's biased, but if you look at it from a more like collective standpoint, Rubber Soul would be better.
I mean, it is better.
Because, you know, Revolver just goes all over the place.
Revolver is like a shorter White album, and like how varied it is.
In a way, yeah.
Mm.
It's an interesting album. It's hard to describe in a way. Can't really, probably just because I'm a dumbass. I don't really know what I'm talking about. But Revolver, it's hard to categorize it. You just, when you think Revolver and you ask people like legitimate Beatles fans, they'll just tell you, "Oh yeah, I love it because it was their first like actual psychedelic effort." But but it wasn't their first psychedelic effort. It was their first all-out psychedelic effort. But it was pioneering in the sense that it brought psychedelia into the mainstream, you could say. Like Rubber Soul, it added like a little seasoning of it, but it wasn't ever like a whole meal of just take this.
Delicious. Finally some good fucking food.
And anyways, back to Rubber Soul. Wait.
I mean,
it's one of my favorite on the album.
Same. I really like it. I like that it's been a long time.
Yeah, I love that, dude.
The intro, slick. Yeah, I really like that whole, just this whole like last part of it's so good. Revolver has "I Want to Tell You," which I do like. I like "I Want to Tell You."
Yeah.
Because it's a George song, and I think, I don't know, are the George efforts on Rubber Soul and Revolver for me are inconclusive. I can't pick which one I like more.
Yeah. I would have to say because of sitar.
Yeah. Like, to me, Rubber Soul has like two George songs that are like really good. And then Revolver has a George song that's good and two that are really good. But like the ones in Rubber Soul I like a bit more, so it comes out to even for me.
Yeah. Okay. So 1, 2, 2. Yeah. I can't really like rank the songs on Revolver, just because like saying that it all goes together is contradictory to what I've been saying, but saying it all goes together in the sense that it's just meant to be a psychedelic
Tour de force.
melting pot. That's why I would say it goes together in the sense that I like it goes together, because it's just kind of all over the place. But if I wanted to listen to something, because I go when I turn on Revolver, I want to listen to it because it gives me something, like it gives me something from every genre of the Beatles.
Mm-hmm.
And as opposed to like if you listen to Rubber Soul, which is basically one genre with like a few exceptions to turn in there. But you listen to Revolver, it's like it's meant to be just everything in one,
Hear me out. Take Rubber Soul, right? Take Michelle, What Goes On, and Girl, and swap them out with She Said, Good Day Sunshine, Any Bird Can Sing. And then swap out Run for Your Life with Tomorrow Never Knows. Best album.
I just take out Yellow Submarine and you
Take out Yellow Submarine and just put in Tomorrow Never Knows again. We're really hyping up Tomorrow Never Knows, and we're going to get to it and be like, it's good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Bye.
Just has like a 30-second outro.
Yeah. All right.
If I Needed Someone, I really like.
All right. That one. Wait, hold on. Yeah. All right. If I Needed Someone. Yeah, it's good. I do not think it's their. I don't think it's one of the best on the album.
I think it is.
Hmm.
That little bit where it's like, have you
Cavio.
gone some other time?
Yeah,
I
like the little carve your number on my wall. I like that part.
Oh, that part's great.
But everything else is just kind of like, it's alright.
I think it's better than Got to Get You Into My Life.
Alright, we're jumping to that now.
Oh, it's the same one though, 1313.
Yeah. Alright, I love Got to Get You Into My Life, man.
I like it too.
Got to get you I went home from school one day. This was like a week or two ago. And I had all the windows rolled down. I turned that up. It was a sunny day, and I was blaring this, and it felt awesome. I love the brass part. I think that's great. Just think it's definitely one of the best on here. Top three being Tomorrow Never Knows, Taxman, and Got to Get You Into My Life.
What's your top three across both albums?
Top three across both albums. In My Life, Got to Get You Into My Life. I used to think those were the same song, and every time somebody put In My Life, I thought they were talking about Got to Get You Into My Life until I found out that In My Life was actually its own thing.
Really?
Yeah. So, In My Life, Got to Get You in My Life, and Tomorrow Never Knows.
Mine's probably like Tomorrow Never Knows, I'm Looking Through You, and Drive My Car.
Yeah.
Should we do Tomorrow Never Knows now? Or you could do Run for Your Life very briefly.
Run for Life.
Run for Your Life is like it's kind of like a play. It's John's kind of play on an Elvis song, but I like the song okay. I don't listen to it too much though, just because like it's kind of weird. It's like if you're my girlfriend, so if say you look at another man, you're gonna get killed.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's just I don't know. It's kind of weird coming off John. It's like, oh no, John, no. I thought you said you were getting better.
Right, yeah, Run for Your Life, that's good.
It's an okay song, but it's not Tomorrow Never Knows.
I think it's their second worst on the album.
What's the first?
What Goes On.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Run for Your Life used to be one of my favorite Beatles songs, and now it's just like me. So we're gonna talk about Tomorrow Never Knows.
Now,
We've been like hyping up the whole
time.
time.
Dedicate a whole half hour to talking about Tomorrow Never Knows.
We've already been going an hour.
All right. Well, Tomorrow Never Knows is like the most psychedelic thing like you can think of if we're not talking about Pink Floyd, or if we're talking about 60s and we're talking about psychedelia, excluding early Pink Floyd. This is the most psychedelic thing I could think of.
What Smile?
Well, Smile didn't get released technically in the 60s.
What Smiley Smile?
Well, I've only listened to like one song off of that.
Right, do me a favor, like I'll edit it, right? Go listen to Fall Breaks and Back to Winter, real quick.
Okay. All right. Listen to the first 15 seconds, and I already know what you're talking about. But, but I mean,
I'm not like
coolest psychedelic.
I'm kind of just messing with you.
But, well,
I'm messing with you, Bravo.
All right. Well, Tomorrow Never Knows is the coolest psychedelic thing.
Tomorrow Never Knows is the most psychedelic song of 1966.
Yes.
Okay.
Great. Just Ringo goes hard.
He goes so hard.
Yeah, for you. And John Lennon. This was all like just about acid, right?
Oh, I think it's like there's like a psychedelic handbook, and he's reading off lines from that. That's the lyrics.
Yeah, it's
My favorite part about the Ringo in this is that he was like listening to a playback of this and drumming, and keep like everything. Like there's a lot of loops. He's listening to a loop and he's drumming along to the loop.
Yeah,
and like he's just that solid at keeping time that it's like it sounds like he's being looped.
Yeah, it sounds like they're basing it off of him. You know, but yeah, it says that he adapted the lyrics from Timothy Leary's book, The Psychedelic Experience.
Mm-hmm.
A manual based on the Tibetan Book of the Dead. So, yeah, it has to do with LSD, all that sort of thing. Just, crazy piece, drop acid to it. It's great. Probably top 10 Beatles songs ever.
Let me check what I put it at, because I actually have a list. Oh, I have A Day in the Life, I'm Looking Through You, Tomorrow Never Knows.
Yeah.
And Strawberry Fields.
It was actually Dustin who got me into this song.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he said that he liked Revolver a lot, and I finally listened to it, and he told me to put this song on, and I was like, alright. But yeah, very psychedelic piece. Crazy. It sounds crazy, but sounds awesome at the same time. That's Rubber Soul and Revolver.